Hello everybody and welcome to another art video. I am Sam and today I would like to share with you my Inktober strategy. I will tell you a little bit about what is the Inktober challenge, what are my tools of choice, what is my drawing schedule, and of course we will do together today's Inktober prompt. So let's start from the beginning. What is Inktober? Inktober is a challenge, a drawing challenge, an art challenge based on ink. It was created by Jake Parker, a very well-known artist, especially in the social media community, back the first time in 2009. And it was basically a way for the artist to improve day by day on the month of October his inking skills. You are asked or you are prompted to paint something every day using ink for the full month of October. The official Inktober is still run by Jake, and the list of prompts can be found in the Inktober website or all around social media. If you Google Inktober, for sure the list will come up. And this is what I am following as well. I have been trying to follow Inktober for the longest time. Every October I start full of energy, but I really never managed to carry on and finish it. So this year I wanted to get some strategies in place in order to be able to cope with the challenge and eventually finish it. Today is October 23rd, as we just said, and the challenge for today is celestial. So the first thing that I always do, even before attempting to paint, is to think about the meaning of the prompt, celestial. What does it inspire me? And from there, I start with a sort of mood board in my mind. What does the word inspire me? Celestial gives me the idea of something heavenly, something hairy, something sacred as well. For some reason, it brings me to this religious part of my mind. So the first thing that I was thinking of painting is, I don't know, a church perhaps? Or let's go further, the St. Peter's Basilica, which is the most celestial of the buildings. And then other thoughts come into my mind, something blue. So heaven, the sky, or the sea as well. So it brings me to paint or to wanting to paint a blue sky with clouds. And then, of course, it combines the two ideas of something really sacred, religious and spiritual with something blue, something airy, something cloudy. Brings it together and makes me feel of something that is really beautiful, a place that I want to be. And so, starting from these few ideas, I start Googling it or on Pinterest looking for photo references and places that I may be able to paint. And for today, the image that eventually I choose is this beautiful lighthouse that I'm gonna put here, and you can find as well in the links below. I found it on Pixabay, which is a website that offers royalty-free images or pictures, and they are very beautiful, and I always use them, or very often use them, as photo reference for my paintings. I really hope this got you an idea of my thought process. Let me show you now the materials. So materials wise, it's all very simple. I am using a food nib fountain pen filled in with a waterproof ink. I'm using carbon ink by Sailor, which doesn't smudge with watercolor or water. I'm using as well a Micron from Sakura, waterproof as well, for some line variation. Of course, a pencil, and probably the most important tool, some paper. This is a watercolor paper by Etchelab that I cut down in this postcard size. And finally, my trusty watercolor palette with an array of brushes. So, as you have seen, the materials are quite simple, which brings us talking about the strategy. First of all, is having materials that I'm very familiar with. A simple pen, a simple pencil, my watercolor palette, and this is the palette that I use all the time. So I really know the colors by heart. Some decent quality paper as well helps, and especially going very small with the size. This helps very much to have a small painting every day without having to think about something brilliant, big, and spending a lot of time. So trying to maximize everything is really good. Something else that I'm trying to do is, of course, record everything on my phone and put it on social media. Just trying to get a little bit of attraction for my videos and hopefully make art my full-time job one day. So let's get started with the actual painting. As per usual, I'm gonna try to fit the reference picture here on the screen, so if you wish you could paint along with me. The first thing that I like to do is to tape my paper in place on this cardboard surface. This doesn't just allow the paper to remain flat and not to warp with the application of water, but as well it gives me a frame to work within, so makes everything a little bit more clear. Then using my pencil, this is just a B pencil, is not the darker, but as well not the hardest of the pencils. It works for me. I just sketch the main spaces, the main lines of my drawing. I just go with the bolder lines without paying a lot of attention to the details at all. Details will come, if any, with ink afterwards. So as you can see, just a very brief outline of my spaces. When I'm happy with the first drawing, I start going in with ink. I'm using this micro pen because I really want to get some of those details put in place. I'm going to draw the main lines and the lines within the actual border. All will be clear on the next step. Once again, not paying too much of an attention with details, but still keeping everything quite loose. When I'm done with this first step, I'll go in with the bold nib here of my Fude pen. Fude is a bent nib that allows you to get very dark and very bold lines, and as well a bit of line variation. With this bold nib of ink, I like to outline the perimeter of my main subject, and as well, using this quality of line variation, some other of the details. Because it's so broad, it scratches on the paper quite a bit, so it gives me some additional quality and naturality to the painting. Now it's time for the watercolors. I'm using just a couple of colors per painting so that nothing becomes complicated. Here I'm using a cerulean blue for the sky, some cayenne gray for the shadows, and just some sap green. Keeping my palette extraordinarily limited is probably the main secret I have to share with you today. So here we go, very, very simple and easy. The secret that I found works for me is to get a very small painting, get rid of all the details, and yeah, make it your own. So I really hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you did, please consider to subscribe to my channel. There's plenty coming. Inktober wise, I will go through all my paintings so far, and as well we will do a wrap up at the end of the month. Yeah, that's basically it for me today. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.